Have you ever felt like life is unfair? Like no matter how hard you try, everything seems to go wrong? Maybe your plans fail, your loved ones disappoint you, or your situation just feels stuck. But what if I told you that peace and happiness don't come from what happens around you, but from what happens inside your mind? This story will show you how one woman discovered the quiet power of positive thinking and changed not just her life, but the lives of everyone around her. Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village surrounded by green fields and tall trees, there lived an old woman named Amma Bano. Her hair was white as snow, her skin wrinkled like soft paper, but her eyes were bright and full of kindness. Everyone in the village loved her because she was always smiling, no matter what life threw her way. Amma Bano lived alone in a tiny mud house near a big banyan tree. Her husband had passed away many years ago, and she had no children, yet she never complained. Every morning, she swept the front of her house, watered a few plants, and sat under the banyan tree with her small cup of tea. Villagers would often stop by to talk with her, and somehow they always left feeling lighter, calmer, and more hopeful. In that village, people worked hard. The men plowed the fields from sunrise to sunset, and the women carried water, cooked, and cared for their children. But life wasn't always easy. Some years, the rain didn't come, and the crops dried up. Other times, people fell sick or lost their jobs. The air was often heavy with worry and sadness. One afternoon, a young woman named Miriam came to see Amma Bano. Her eyes were sad, her clothes dusty, and her hands trembled as she spoke. "Amma," she said softly, "I don't know what to do anymore. My husband went to the city to find work months ago, but he hasn't sent any money. My children cry from hunger, and I don't know how long I can keep going." Amma Bano listened quietly, then said gently, "Sit down, my child. Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Miriam wiped her tears and sighed. "I keep thinking something bad will happen. Maybe my husband didn't find work. Maybe he forgot about us. I can't stop these thoughts. They scare me all the time." Amma smiled softly. "You know, Miriam, when we fill our minds with bad thoughts, we only hurt ourselves more. But when we fill them with good thoughts, we find strength. And sometimes, when we stay hopeful, good things find their way to us." Miriam frowned. "But Amma, how can I think good thoughts when everything around me feels bad?" The old woman looked at her with loving eyes. "Let me tell you a small story," she said. "Once, there was a poor man who had lost everything: his family, his money, his home. One day, he sat near a river and cried. An old woman came by and asked, 'Why are you crying, my son?' The man said, 'Because I have nothing left. How can I be happy when my life is empty?' The woman smiled gently and said, 'Look around you. You have the river that sings softly to you. You have trees that give you shade. You have the sky that gives you light. You have your breath, your hands, your heart. You are still alive, my son. That means you still have something to be grateful for.' The man looked up. For the first time, he noticed the soft wind, the sound of water, and the warmth of sunlight on his face. His tears stopped. He smiled. From that day, he started thanking life for small things. Slowly, his sadness faded, and his life began to change, not because everything became perfect, but because he learned to see what was already good. Amma Bano paused and looked at Miriam. "You see, my dear, the man's life didn't change through magic. It changed because his thoughts changed. When our thoughts become light, our path becomes easier to walk." Miriam wiped her tears again. "Do you really believe thinking good thoughts can change my life?" Amma smiled warmly. "Yes, my child. If you wake up every morning and tell yourself, 'Today will be a good day,' your heart will find courage. You will feel stronger to face what comes. But if you keep thinking of what might go wrong, Your fear will steal your strength before the day even begins. Miriam nodded slowly, her face softening. I'll try, Amma. I'll try to think good thoughts. That's all you need to start, said Amma. When you change your thinking, you change your world. From that day on, Miriam began to do just that. Every morning, she opened her eyes and whispered, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, cooked for her children, and waited for her husband with faith instead of fear. Even when she was tired, she kept reminding herself of Amma's words. Weeks passed. Then one morning, as she returned from the market, she found a letter waiting for her. It was from her husband. He had finally found a job in the city and was sending money home. Miriam's heart filled with joy. She ran straight to Amma's house, laughing and crying at the same time. "Amma, you were right. He found work. Things are getting better." Amma smiled, her eyes shining. "You see, my dear, when we think positive, we open the door for good things to enter. Life will always test us, but when we face it with hope, we win half the battle." Word of Amma's wisdom spread across the village. Soon, people came from near and far to talk to her. Whenever someone complained about their problems, she said the same thing: "Think good thoughts, and good will come." Slowly, the whole village began to change. People smiled more, worked with more faith, and helped one another. Even on difficult days, they remembered Amma's words, "If you think light, you live light." And so, Amma Bano became the heart of the village, a gentle reminder that peace doesn't come from having a perfect life, but from having a peaceful mind. Because in the end, life gives you what you believe in. And when you choose hope over fear, gratitude over worry, and peace over anger, your whole world begins to bloom again.